In this video, we are going to look at the types of exponents that have a certain set of steps that we can follow. And the first example looks as follows. So we can see that these ones have the exponents, or the variables are in the exponents. And we can see another thing that helps us to identify it is that the terms, the numerator and the denominator has more than one term, or in other words, it's separated by either plus or minus, either the numerator or the denominator, or both. In this case, it's just both. So the steps that we are going to follow is we're going to start by applying law 1, or in other words, just breaking up the basis that has more than one term in the exponent. That's just where we know from law 1, let's write it here, if I have a x times by a y, to simplify this, we can just say multiply the same basis, add the exponent, so a x plus y. Now, if I'm at this point where we can see here 3x minus 1, I can then just take this backwards and break them up again. So you have the same base, but each exponent has its own base, basically. All right, so that's going to be our first step. We're going to say 3x minus 3 to the power of x times by 3 to the power of negative 1. And then that's over 3 to the power of x plus 3 to the power of x times 3 to the power of 2. All right, so I've just broken up those two. Next step, we are going to factorize. So I can see, because we have more than one term, we can factorize, and this 3 to the power of x here and here is a common factor for the numerator and also for the denominator. We've got 3 to the power of x there and 3 to the power of x there. Okay, so if we take that out, we have 3 to the power of x. Then when we open our bracket, now remember, when we take out the entire term, we have to put a placeholder as 1. And then minus 3 to the power of negative 1. Okay, so that was factorizing the numerator, and then going down, we also factorize out 3x, and then we're left with 1 plus 3 to the power of 2. Okay, so after factorizing, the next step will be to cancel. So then we can just cancel top and bottom. And then finally, the last step is just to simplify. So simplifying, we can at this point just put all of this into the calculator because there's no more variables left. So we can just say we have 1 minus 3 to the power of negative 1 over 1 plus 3 to the power of 2. Right, that gives us 1 over 15. So 1 over 15. All right, and then we're done. Now, 99% of these type of sums follow just these steps and processes. So this is actually easy sums when you get into it. All right, so for example 2. So now we see only the numerator has more than one term, but that's fine. Our first step is just to break everything up that has more than one term in the exponents. So we have 3 times 2 to the power of n minus this one, 2n times by 2 to the power of minus 2, and that's over 2 to the power of n times by 2 to the power of 1. Okay, next we factorize. Now we're only going to factorize the numerator because the denominator only has one term, so you can't factorize something that has only one term. So we take out a common factor of 2n in the numerator. We're left with 3 minus 2 to the power of negative 2. Okay, and then that's over 2 to the power of n times by 2 to the power of 1. And then we can just cancel this one and this one. And then we can simplify by typing that into the calculator. Right, so 3 minus 2 to the power of negative 2 over 2, or 2 to the power of 1. Okay, that gives us 11 over 8. Right, next one, example 3. This one is slightly more complicated because we can see the bases aren't the same. We can see there we have a 9 and there we have a 3. But we also know that we can change 9 into a base 3 to the power of 2. Okay, so that's going to be the first step in this one. We're going to say 3 times by 3 squared to the power of x plus 1 plus 2 times by 3 2x plus 1 all over 4 times by 3 to the power of 2x plus 1 minus 3 times by, now 3 squared to the power of x. Okay, now in this case I can just first multiply out these brackets. So that's going to be in one step, and then the other step is just going to be to break them up. So then we have 3 to the power of 2x. Now I'm going to do this in one step just to save space and time, but this is going to be then 3 to the power of 1. So after I've multiplied it out, it would have been 3 to the power of 2x plus 2, actually 3 to the power of 2x plus 2, and then when I break it up, it becomes 3 to the power of 2x times by 3 to the power of 2. Okay, and then we can break the others up. 2 times 3 to the power of 2x times 3 to the power of 1 all over 4 times 3 to the power of 2x times 3 to the power of 1 minus 3 times 3 to the power of 2x. Okay, next we are going to factorize out the 3 to the power of 2x in each of these terms. There's one, and there's one. Okay, so if I take that out, we get 3 to the power of 2x, and then we just write down what's left. So we have 3 times 3 to the power of 2 plus 2 times 3 to the power of 1 all over 4 times, oh sorry, that first comes out, 3 to the power of 2x first comes out. Okay, and then we're left with 4 times 3 to the power of 1 minus 3, yeah, just minus 3. Okay, then cancel, so this and this cancels, and then we can put that onto the calculator. Okay, so that's 3 times 3 to the power of 2 plus 2 times 3 over 4 times 3 is just 12. 12 minus 3. Okay, that's 11 over 3. Right, then that one's done. Example 4. Now again, quite a simple one because all our bases are the same again. So we're just going to start by breaking it up. So times 2 to the power of n times 2 to the power of negative 3 minus 10 times 2 to the power of n times 2 to the power of negative 1 over 2n minus 3 times 2 to the power of n times 2 to the power of 1. Okay, next we're going to factor out the 2 to the power of n's. And in the first term, when we take out 2 to the power of n, we're left with 24 times by 2 to the power of negative 3. And then minus 10 times by 2 to the power of negative 1. Okay. All over, again, take out 2 to the power of n. 1 minus 3 times 2 to the power of 1. That is left. And then we cancel. And then we type into the calculator. 24 times 2 to the power of negative 3 minus 10 times 2 to the power of negative 1 all over 1 minus, and that's 6 basically, 1 minus 6. Okay, 2 over 5. All right. Last one. We start again by breaking up, and then this 25 can become 5 squared. All right, to make the same base as the ones we have at the top. So 2 times 5 to the power of 2a plus, and then breaking up times 5 to the power of negative 1. You can just scratch that. Plus 5 to the power of 2a times 5 to the power of 1. And that's all over 3 times 5 squared. To the power of a. Right, and then this becomes, that's a times there. Then we factorize out. 5 to the power of 2a comes out, and then we're left with 2 times 5 to the power of negative 1 plus 5 to the power of 1. All over 3 times 5 to the power of 2a. Okay, those two can then cancel, and then we can just type in what we have left there. Alright, so that is going to be 2 times 5 to the power of -1 plus 5, which is just 5, and then over 3. Right, and that's equal to 9 over 5. Okay, and then we are done.